Okay, this guy has been all over the news, all over the media.
Did he break the internet?
You can't get away from him. He is on your screen more than you can possibly imagine. And of course, I am talking about the Donald.
The Donald.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, absolute honor to be part of this conversation. And to be over here at Toyota and Escondido. Stoked. So thanks for having me part of the Action Sports Show.
Well, let me break it down for you guys a little bit more of who I'm talking about. Of course, Donald Brink is a surf shaper.
The Donald, they might think Trump's in the house.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going for. He is the Donald. Surfboard shaper based out of San Clemente, California, originally from South Africa, I believe.
Absolutely.
And
my China.
And he is one of the more creative surfboard shapers you will ever encounter. So we're going to get all into the mind of shaper Donald Brink. And so welcome to the studio, man.
Thank you so much. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so you brought in some boards, and we're going to have to really describe them to these guys. Everybody that saw them they're gorgeous. They're works of art. One of the key words when you're thinking about Donald to recognize with him is he is a craftsman, a throwback craftsman even, and that all these are hand-shaped boards. There's no computer. Not that he's a anti-computer guy per se, but he is just a craftsman of himself. And I encourage you guys listening to go online, check out his website, and check out some of the videos. There's a video of you taking a crummy piece of
Careful.
pallet, a piece of pallet, and turning it into this gorgeous piece of surf art.
Yeah. Well, let me run you through that, and thank you. That's an honor to have you say that. But I am a craftsman. I love art. I grew up painting, and I'm fascinated by how things work and how things are made. I love to work with my hands. Right now, I build the boards the way I do because I don't know another way on how to get there. So it's a hands-on process, but that particular project that you mentioned, surfboards are a very functional tool. They are elements of art, but they can convey a message and an understanding, and they can have a story associated to their creation, but also to the memories they bring. So those pallets were the very first shipment of Whistler, a new surf company that I'm involved with and part of, and honored to be part of their team. And so there was a new brand that was birthed, and those pallets held the very first shipment of board shorts. So there was a vision of a brand, and the brand was birthed, and there was a vision of a board that could have been recreated out of the birth of the brand. And it was a fun thing to do. Sometimes going around and going a long path to the same end is it's an inspiring story, and board worked. It's fun.
So most people think
most people just hang the first dollar on the wall.
Most people think that like surfers are just stoners that hang out and shape every now and then, do whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy thinks about all of that.
Cerebral.
But what's great is that now you're gonna have a memory for the rest of your life that was day one, and that's awesome.
Well, perfectly said, because that really was the motivation. So, Mr. Paul Nordea, who started that company, has arguably got one of the largest private surfboard collections in the world. I mean, I've seen parts of it, and it's hundreds and hundreds deep of really not just boards, but special boards in parts of surf history. And he's like, well, build me a board, and I have, but I was like, I wanted to give him a special board.
Yeah.
So you can create a story by just looking a little deeper, and life's a lot like that. And I think about those details, and not every board needs to be something treasured and really special, but it is a tool because it will create memories that last, and you can't get to them another way, and that inspires people on their path.
Now, when you build a board, are you doing from beginning to end, or are you just a shaper? Are you just an artist? So walk somebody through that.
Yeah, I started building boards start to finish, did all my boards that way. And I started in the industry first building, doing hot coats and glass jobs and fins and so on and so forth, watching, learning back in South Africa. But my first few hundred boards, I did everything start to finish. And I got a little sick from the chemicals and, just a couple of details in the story. But I really miss not having the start to finish
That's like where
process.
the bug bites Spider-Man and then it becomes that character. That's like where the transition happened, apparently.
Yeah, no,
that's how I'm reading into it.
No, it's I don't. I can, and every now and again, jump in the saddle and start and finish one. I love to stay connected with the craft. I try new materials. I stay on the cutting edge of what I'm trying to get the boards to. There's a disconnect between what you shape and how it comes out.
Right.
I want to understand every element. So no, I partner up with a very, very, very good production glass shop. They do production for Channel Islands. They do all of Hobie's glass and polish. So Jim Hodges over at Ocean Works does a great job, but I need to partner with somebody to elevate my craft, and they're good at what they do, but they also have the real estate and manpower to be able to do that on a consistent basis.
But all the foam you're shaping.
I shape everything by hand. It's a rudimentary process. A couple hand tools, a planer, a big vacuum, and my headphones, and off we go.
No, it's awesome because I'm buddies with Jerry Lopez, and he's the same way. You know? And you know, Jerry's an icon in the business and stuff, but he still loves to get in there because I think there's something zen about it, and also it's like surfing itself, the shapes and how you're looking at things and stuff. So for me, I would love to be able to. I'd love to get a camera and look through your eyes at what you're looking at and how you shape it, because that goes into my next question. This is not just a symmetrical board. It is built for goofy or regular.
100% right. So what I did was when I moved to California, you know, there were plenty of waves on offer. The variety was lacking from what I was used to from back in South Africa, but there was plenty of opportunity to surf, but the waves were often a little more flat and kind of soft, and I embraced the retro designs, but there were frustrations in the surfing, and the reality is it's harder to surf on your heels than on your toes. So if you build a board orientated to work better the way you're standing, i.e., like you said, regular or goofy foot, left foot forward, right foot forward, it's just the way you're standing. So it's heel, toe, stay on the heels, back to the toes. So go left or right, but stand one way. And I embrace design to make that struggle between a heel sensation and your toe sensation less obvious, and thus more progressive. So you're having more fun more often within the flavor in question. So maybe now's a good time just to explain, but these aren't types of boards. It's a concept applied to any type of board.
Exactly.
And that to me is, you know, other people do other things, and these kinds of things I guess have been done before. And Cole Ekstrom built the first asymmetrics years ago, and what a talented man, an amazing brain. But the reality is, it's a way to approach the flavor that we're after, that I'm trying to incorporate.
So now you go, like here we're looking at a lot of different shortboards and stuff, but do you get into mini tankers and longboards and stuff as well?
Absolutely. I love to build anything, and my motto is the right board for the right person. The bigger boards, I'm expecting you to navigate to make work. So there's going to be some cross-stepping and some footwork. So because of that, your limitations of your foot's reference and pivotal point and your weight distribution is less of an issue, because you're having to manipulate those things to make it work. So they'll be twisted and different to less of a degree than something where I know you're going to stand start to finish.
Now, let's unpack a little bit. Let's dive into the techniques that make a board, the hydrodynamics, and what makes a board react the way it reacts. And when you use the term twisted, I think it's flying over some people's heads, because you're talking specifically about a concept that is a twisted rocker.
Correct.
And so it's the normal rocker is concave, maybe convex on top, whatever scenario. But you're talking about a rocker that is different in the front than it is in the back. So
Sure.
Taking a board and basically doing that with it, correct?
Okay, yeah, let's look at it this way.
Which nobody can understand on the radio, so we're going to break it down.
Let's use our imagination. So if you picture a board in your mind, and there would be naturally three rockers. I'll explain them. The two rail rockers, the banana, the curve in those, and then the stringer, so the one in the middle. Now on a very, very symmetrical board, those all three would be the same. Now if we associate the struggles of the heel and the benefits of the leverage because of your ankle, your toes, and we have a rocker that you feel on your toes, so a toe side rocker, and then a rocker that's preferred when you're on your heel. Those two are different, and how to marry them in between, well, that's my job.
Right.
But that's why you have a twist. So if I can flatten a rocker overall, your board will go faster and paddle better, but it'll purl and it'll get in the way. But the times when I'll want to feel the rocker will be when I lean picture yourself leaning in or forward on the wave, so that'll be your toes. And when you're going through your turn, onto your heels.
Right.
So just like you're scissoring in and out of a wave face or down and into and out of a maneuver, I put the rocker where you'll need it and feel it, and not everywhere else. So you're going faster, then you can do more.
That's awesome.
Absolutely
Gosh, that is
perfect.
so neat.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
It seems like it.
It's good to hear that because it really is. I strive for simplicity in my boards and the designs, and they don't go fast because they look yellow or red.
Well, let us clarify. It's simple when you explain it.
Right.
But if we were to try to figure it out on our own, we would still be on big planks like the ancient Hawaiians were back in the day.
Those boards look
so
fun.
what you're doing when you say it, you go, yeah. Why isn't everybody doing that? But that's the part of being an artist and creator.
Well, to answer that, Ricky, I mean, those Hawaiians had less of an ability to use tools like we do.
Exactly.
And the wooden boards they built were out of very, very hard wood. And not everyone built them, they were only for the kings.
Yes.
And so even then there was a elite dedication to craftsmanship. There was an amazing hydrodynamic principles, actually, if you study those boards. So there were few people who could, there were a few people that did, and then only the elite enjoyed. Now today, we just have more options. There's more technology, there's more products.
Yeah.
But it's still difficult to do. But there's more people trying, and we're breaking open new grounds. And so it's still a testament of proving yourself right or wrong, but applying design. And it's not easy to do, but it's also not that complicated if you understand what you're trying to do in the water, and then which design then will empower that. And that's where I think the biggest disconnect is for anybody thinking about how to order a board or what to tell their shaper. And I really promote that conversation for everyone, because design is your disconnect between what you're wanting to do in the water and surfing's fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
If you
I
can
used
get up.
I used to hate my conversations with my shapers.
Tell me why.
Well, because all they wanted to talk to me about was paddling and volume. And I'm like, I freaking don't care that much about paddling. I'll paddle with a board underwater the whole time if it will perform.
Sure.
Talk to me about performance. Sure. That's what I really want to care about. And yeah, paddling's going to get me into a wave, and I get the point, but I could not stand that they were going to sacrifice my performance for their old style commitment to the necessity to paddle.
Paddleability.
Yeah.
Well,
and that might sound weird, but I'm telling you,
No.
I never found a guy that I didn't want to slap for saying that.
no, but look at it this way. Your vision for what you wanted to do in the water needed to be respected and designed around.
Yeah, and they didn't. They thought they knew best, and so they literally, that's what they did. They didn't want to listen to a young surfer. They wanted to tell a young surfer.
Yeah, and that's a sorry state, because you could have enjoyed your surfing more and perhaps had memories from those days.
Yeah, I might have
better.
been able to be in your seat instead of in my seat.
Yeah, there you go. We're not that far apart from each other right now, though.
Oh, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you are.
Well,
lifetime
speaking of
away.
the Hawaiian boards that we were just talking about, there's been such an evolution of surfboards. Do you see this being the peak of where they're going? I mean, you guys have built the best. Or do you see the evolution continuing? Where do you see surfboards going?
No, we're a long way from where we can be. And if I was happy with where we are, I'd
Go do
Give
something
up?
else.
Close up shop?
Well, no, I'd build my own boards because I'm fascinated with it. But no,
Yeah.
the idea is to move everyone forward. Not everyone's the shape, but those who surf need to embrace a dedication to design and a commitment to excellence. The ability that surfers have these days is way beyond what we were even last year.
Yeah.
So, to empower people that have an incredible athleticism, that was the wrong word, but
No,
It's the right word, though.
Absolutely
I
correct.
felt like I said it terribly there, but so people with a vision and a talent and an ability is that's growing pretty quickly. So there's a demand for different and new designs. That's one thing, but more than anything, there's more and more people surfing every day, which also means that the water's more crowded. So if you perhaps could ride a board in a less perfect wave or in a less ideal situation, maybe you'll choose to surf a less wave to be out of a crowd.
To get more waves.
Absolutely,
For your
you
own
will.
fascination, and if a design will let you do that, then we're moving forward.
Right.
So the reality is like, yeah, guys are ripping, but guys are ripping on waves that before we wouldn't like. The air wind is like the most beautiful thing because you can huck bigger airs. But,
Right.
you know, let's say 6 years ago, it was like, oh, it's onshore, or it's cross shore. So things have changed in our ability, approach, and designs are going to follow those things. But I do think there's going to be a breakthrough in some materials. I dream of a product that you can shape, put fin boxes in, and go
Redone.
surf. Yeah, I think having something that's malleable on the beach.
Yep.
I mean, just dream of that.
Man, you're in the Jetson
You,
zone
you,
at the
you,
moment.
you surf in, shave
Hey,
a little
you know,
bit, go
it'll-
back out.
It'll happen.
Well, look, I mean, it's money. I know it's money. I had a conversation with an old shaper, and apparently DuPont came up with a similar thing because I'd expressed the vision to him. I'm like, I'm so. He's like, you got to build another one. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's time, it's money, it's materials. I was like, can't I just do it on the beach, and whittle away and just or go back and tune. And he expressed that DuPont kind of figured something out there like that had similar flex patterns, but I think that was 1972 he quoted. It was like $1,000 a board. I mean, I think those things are going to come, but if they come with an environmentally satisfaction, if they come with something that's better for the environment, that's very progressive, and I look forward to that. Don't have the answers, but look forward to embracing those kinds of things.
Okay, so now me personally, I'm a 6'1", 220-pound kook. Right.
Stud.
I have one surfer cross once. But we're going to take a break here in just a moment. When we come back, I want to talk about what does a guy do when he goes in to buy a surfboard, not just surfboard, but he just walks in.
Love it.
So
Let's
when
do
we
that.
come back,
And I can't wait to hear this. I find this absolutely fascinating. So I can't wait to find out a whole lot more. So, we are going to take our final break, but when we come back, a lot more with Donald Brink, and appreciate it coming on the show here and finding out what's coming up next and where he thinks the evolution is going to go. So, folks, the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido. We'll be right back.
And contracts and schemes were flooded. One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
For over 35 years, your friends at Toyota of Escondido have worked hard to take the hassle out of buying or leasing a new Toyota. And now they're pleased to offer you no-cost key replacement and roadside assistance with every new Toyota purchase or lease.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
Losing your keys is not only a hassle, but can be costly. Some new keys can cost as much as $500, and you really don't want to be stranded on the road all by yourself. Please ask for complete details on this exclusive offer from Toyota of Escondido.
Toyota of Escondido.
Freeway Close, where Highway 78 meets Broadway, just east of the 15.
Hi folks, Jim here, and I want to talk to you about Slime Tire Sealant. Racers in all classes of motorcycles, ATV, bugs, cars, trucks are using Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flats, including pre-runners. Smart teams are even using slime inside their trailer tires too. I mean, how many tires do you have? Think about it. Do you have motorcycles, ATVs, cars, trucks, trailers, wheelbarrows, mowers, and bikes? How many flats have you had in the last year? Maybe the answer's none. Maybe you're due for one. How much time and money can flat tires cost you? How about just the peace of mind? Nobody likes flat tires at all. Just pre-install Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flat tires. Slime is a liquid tire sealant that easily installs after taking out the valve core of the tire with the tool provided. Once inside, slime seeks out and seals punctures instantly and repeatedly and is guaranteed for 2 years. Slime is non-toxic, non-combustible, water-soluble, and does not void tires' warranties, unlike that other stuff in the can. Go for Slime in the Gallon for all your off-road tires. If it isn't green, it isn't Slime. Put trust in your tires. Slime, there's no stopping you.
What up? It's Twitch. You're listening to Action Sports Show.
You're on, guys.
Flame, they don't flame. It'll rot your brain.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. Jim Holtis, Dan McGranahan, Ricky Johnson, and Amanda Woods. And we're sitting here talking to master craftsman, shaper extraordinaire, Donald Brink. It's so fascinating hearing what goes on in his mind to create his beautiful creations here.
He just shared something really cool during the break there, and I think you should share it with people. You have recently rebranded your company, and tell me what that is.
Yeah. We were talking about you know who gets to buy the boards and what matters, but I've rebranded, and it's Brink Surfboards. And
Genius.
Yeah, well, what it is the boards.
Surfer boards, I like it.
Surfboards, yeah. The boards don't care, and the ocean doesn't either. But I get to work with surfers, and that's an important relationship. And that's what we are as a tribe, but also that's what the design's moving forward to empower is the surfers.
And it just feels like a South African butchering English, basically.
Yeah, we're just a little bit of Afrikaans in there. Net for the broers.
No, but we had a great question from RJ right before we went to break. Let's get back to that.
Let's do that.
6'1", what is it,
220.
195?
Yeah, it was.
He walks into a surf shop, or he goes onto a website, and he's got to order a board, or he's got someone working with him. What's he going to say? How's that conversation? How should that conversation work?
Well, that conversation, I feel like it needs to be a dialogue, and then things can move forward. If you know a lot about what you want to do, which, to be honest, is rare, that would be golden. So what I like to do, and I can't speak for others, but the way you would like to think about how you're going to approach ordering your next board is think about what you want to do on a wave. Think about where you're surfing. Look at the wave canvas. Think about what you would like to do on that. Start there. You're going to be ahead. Then think about your ability. Think what you can do. Think what you want to do. And the difference between those things, those two levels, is going to be where your progression is going to be. So being honest about what you can do, but then dreaming about what you want to do, that's how you're going to get the most out of a design. And I like to then interject, and that's where the dialogue for me and a customer would start to be like, all right, I think it'll look like this. Tell me where you would be frustrated. So Dan, your question would come back now, well, I just don't care about how it paddles, but how it works. Tell me about the things that would frustrate you.
I'm the opposite. I want to catch the wave first. I'll worry about surfing it later. He's like, I'll drop in as late as possible. I don't care how big I am. The thing could be underwater. I'm going to catch the wave. Me, I don't, even though it's a small wave, I just don't like that pearl feeling and stuff like that. And that's what's making me not a great surfer, is that the late takeoff, always just seemed to get me. And not that I was afraid of drowning or getting hurt or something like that. It's just I never really felt comfortable there.
Yeah, I think about almost reverse engineer it. It's like, this is what I want to do, but this is what's going to make me either frustrated or feel, less proficient in what I'm trying to do. Think about what you want to do and what's going to frustrate you trying to do that. Those two things alone will get really, really narrow down what you need and also what you want. And if you can articulate those in as many adjectives as you can to either a shaper or a retail outlet or myself,
right, preferably,
then we can start to design, or we can pick and choose. And so those two conversations we had now were a lot to do with volume.
Right.
Now, volume over a rocker is my job, knowing it's not going to push water.
Right.
So there's going to be a time when you have to entrust the designer. However, we're already ahead where most people, it looks pretty and it's blue and it's got flowers.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
And that's important too.
Well, I can surf on that one, but probably not, right? So if you've never surfed before, where would you suggest starting?
At the beach.
At the beach. Good one.
That's South African humor right there.
On what? On a longboard?
I say it quickly, at the beach.
Yes.
Fall in love with the ocean.
Yeah.
To be honest, there's so many days when people get frustrated and they're getting too caught up in the LMNOPs. Just get to the beach and go body surf. Get in the ocean.
Yeah.
Feel the power of a wave, because at the end of the day, I really don't care what I'm riding. It's fun. So that what I'm using to get to that fun when I'm actually surfing, it's still connecting with the sea, connecting with a wave, gliding across the water surface. So if I can't surf, or I'm injured, or for some reason there's not enough time walking through the shallows with the kids, that's an amazing experience. So don't belittle those pure joys. A longer board's going to be more stable, so start there, but be safe.
Right, but for me, I learned a lot growing up. We made fun of Cameron Steele, who's a bodyboarder, a boogie boarder.
Sure.
Foamy guy. But you learn so much about waves, and you go over the falls, and you take off too late, and you can take off late because you're laying down. There's not that process of getting up.
Sure.
Well, he's too pure of a soul to understand making fun of a boogie boarder.
Right. Well, no, but that's cool. I mean, I wish more surfers were like him. You know, that said, hey, just go enjoy. Their option is go enjoy another beach, or go back to the motorcycle track, you goon.
Skateboard park.
Exactly, on my fruit boots. But so let's say if I'm going to come in and I don't want a longboard anymore, but I want something that kind of paddles good. Like I said, I'm 6'1". Like I know a great surfer, like Laird Hamilton's my size. He can surf anything,
Sure.
right? But he's a freak. You know, he's unbelievably well. But you got a guy that I want something that paddles good, but I can still kind of up and down off the lip and stuff like that. 7'2" you thinking, kind of thick, but I still want a dunk dive wave. So you see what I mean? I've got a unique set of
yet
circumstances.
Dan's shaking his head. What are you shaking your head for?
No, it's all good. I think living around here, answering these waves and conditions, most times day in, day out, width's going to be your best friend.
Right.
Push the outline out, get something a little wider, because then you don't have to ride as much volume, but your stable platform is going to get you, connect the dots from one to the other. You can ride a shorter length in, and that will be easier to duck dive. So off the hip, that's what I'd shoot for.
See, I got educated.
And just to reverse it, because you want to be able to duck dive. The 7'2", he could actually build you a board that was probably more like a 6'2" or shorter, and you'd still be able to duck dive, and it'd still give you the volume and stability because of that wider rail. So you can go quite a bit shorter than probably your visualizing.
Yeah, I agree. So,
but I want to flip it on him a little bit here because we're sitting with one of the greatest motorcycle racers of all time.
Sure are.
And when we met, it was on a dirt bike ride, our first meeting, lots of years ago.
Yes.
And you wrecked your brains out and promised that you would never ever ride a dirt bike again. And
Was this in the desert or in Mexico?
This was in Mexico.
Okay, in Mexico, this one.
he crashed hard when he's asking where the crash was.
Where was I?
Which one was it? Tell me that story briefly, because we want to get back into the surf. But
Yeah, being on two wheels is an amazing feeling, and there's a lot of similarities between drifting through a sand bed in a river in the middle of nowhere, dried riverbed in Mexico, just drift. I mean, that feels a lot like surfing, but
sure.
I hurt myself pretty bad, and it was.
What happened?
Couldn't surf. I don't. Was that the one next to Joe's house where I was doing the up? I followed him up that really, really steep bank and then did a.
This is Camaloo.
Yeah, went right over. Just did a.
Was it what's his name's bachelor party?
Yes, I went up.
Simon's bachelor party.
No, I think it was Joe's.
It was Joe's bachelor party.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were drinking.
No, nothing.
I'm kidding.
No, not a drop,
kidding.
and that
I'm
might be even
kidding.
worse. But went up the hill. Didn't make it. Went over the bars, fell over backwards. I actually just strained my hand, but finished the ride. We still rode 2 days after that. So, but no, it's there's so many things that I love to do, and probably if I had more time, would get back into doing lots more things, and art and photography would come back really quickly, more dedicated time to those kinds of things. But the reality is, I've really tried to focus my vision and my efforts and my time to streamline into one thing and to build these boards and to do them properly and to put bread and butter on the table. But it's a dedicated path, Yeah.
You said you listen to your iPod when you're shaping these boards.
Yeah.
What do you like to listen to? Is it classical?
This is a
it
great question.
Is it Drake?
No,
What is it? Country?
Metallica.
Drake.
It's funny.
I don't know. You never know.
No, I sat down. I listen to music occasionally, but I sat down a few years ago and realized that I don't have time to go to college, and I don't have time to read, but I got a lot of time to cut out noise. So I put on the headphones, and so I put a little curriculum together of things that fascinate me and things that I want to study. And podcasts like this will be broadcast tomorrow on iTunes, so look out for that. But tapping into things that you want to learn about, it's free. And you might not get an accreditation, but if you can implement that knowledge according to what you're trying to build, your craft or your vision, it's amazing. So I listen to podcasts. there's a few things I've really been seeking after and looking
What's
after.
your favorite podcast?
Right now, I'm just finishing up. Well, I'm subscribed to an Australian marketing podcast, like learning how to market and things that I didn't learn before, but I need to apply.
Yeah.
I'm enrolled in a scientific community called the Resonance Academy, and learning about quantum physics and the.
You're quite the nerd, aren't you?
It's this new marketing thing in Australia called Amway. You guys haven't heard about it,
Something
probably.
about a
It's not Amway. It's
Now
not
you can-
Amway.
Oh, whatever it's
You can
called.
you can listen to these type of things and
This is
learn
incredible.
while being in the middle of your craft versus listening to music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was fascinated by that. I'm glad you said that,
No, good
Jim.
question. When I'm drawing and designing, so blank canvas, as I start, very much in tune, nothing on. But after that, it's picking up a handsaw and running the planer. They're pretty remedial tasks. Just go through a few hours of not the same thing, but it's not rocket science. It's a little bit about rockets, but
Yeah, I was
not
going to
rocket
say,
science.
it is too rocket science.
Kinda, right?
We're building a rocket to hydroplane across the water that responds different to your heel than your toe and your front versus your back foot. I think
Yeah.
it's beyond rocket science.
Yeah.
So
No.
if you do build a rocket, I will fly it. I'll promise you that.
Very fast too.
That's fascinating.
While learning photography on the
Exactly.
headphones.
On podcast.
This guy's craftsmanship has been recognized, is beginning to be recognized far and wide, and lots of people are taking notice to the type of surfboards he's making. Josh Kerr recently just shaping one of his own. Slater being fascinated by them. So we're going to start to see these I believe, really infiltrating the high level professional ranks in the very near future. But one thing pretty fun that just happened to you is that you got picked up by Coors to do a Coors commercial.
Yes.
What was that all about? So if you guys have by any chance seen on ESPN, it's airing right now, a Coors commercial of this guy and his cool surfboard, and there's a theme for it. You can clue us in, maybe.
So Coors had a new marketing campaign, and they approached me, and I was a little nervous to, kind of get involved in something. Often those kinds of things representing surfing can be, on the cheesy side, and I expressed my opinions pretty blatantly up front. I was like, look, I want to represent surfing and shaping well. People that associate and know it need to resonate with it, and those that don't, well, they'll be informed. And they set out and did a really good job. So the campaign was Refresh Your World, and they wanted to highlight these refreshing thoughts that I'm bringing to something that we all know and enjoy, but getting something a little more out of it. So yeah, it was really fun. Worked with an amazing group of talented people. I mean, hundreds of them. It was a big production. It was really fun to shoot. We shot up in Venice, up in LA, Malibu. It was a really fun thing to be a part of. But more than anything, the conversation is more than just cold and refreshing beer. It's cold and not cold and refreshing.
Very
but
refreshing.
Very refreshing thoughts to something that we're all used to, and that's why I was honored to be part of. It's more than just an ad. It's challenging to people to think about what they're doing.
Yep.
And maybe how to go a little deeper. Go take the long road. That might help everyone.
Yeah.
And this isn't changing the world, but passion behind what you do, you can share with others, and together those passions can make a very big difference. And I believe in that.
So if you're in SoCal, where can I go to buy one of your boards or to hook up with you and all that?
Yeah. Can people just surf these things? Will you let people demo them because they're so out of the box?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all custom made, so it's rider specific. But yeah, I do many demo days, part of events. So stay tuned. But brinksurf.com, BRINK surf.com. That's home. Join us there. Subscribe to the newsletter. Stay in touch with local events, shaping shows, beach demos, and so on and so forth. And the conversation is it's pretty much sharing thoughts of what's going on daily in the shaping bay, and revolutionary breakthroughs in designs and things like that. But more than anything, just sharing the thoughts with people. We got here from what others have figured before us, and I'm happy to share them now.
Well, let's make a pat right now. I'll help you ride. You help me surf. We got a deal?
I don't want to ride. I hurt myself.
No, that's why. I don't want
no
to surf
deal.
because I don't want to drown. So you see, I'll let you into my world. You take me into your world.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you come in and watch a board being built, and maybe you'd like to build your own. And I do that from time to time, is have people come in, and everything happens at least twice. Yep. Show them how to be safe on the tools. We build a board start to finish, and that will never that'll change your life forever.
I'm in.
Is there
Very
a
well.
social media where people can follow you?
Absolutely. It's at Donald Brink. So grab on Instagram and you can go from there.
And where are you based out of?
I'm in Dana Point, Capistrano Beach. So
Okay.
I live in San Clemente. And
Yeah, and there was some story about you actually having the Hobie factory.
yeah, so
Is that true?
my shop is actually in part of what used to be the old Hobie factory. They used to store the blanks in my shop. Bill Stewart was his first shop, that one. Brad Basham. So it's kind of in
A lot of history.
a historical neighborhood, yeah.
Well, hey, thank you so much for coming and shedding this awesome light on this amazing craft that you have. And
thank you
it's
so much.
just an honor to hear all about it. So thanks to Donald and thanks to Heather Sebastian and Michael Lieb, all of our great guests, and all of you folks for listening. Don't forget to check us out every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. Next week, we got a great show lined up for you too. Trans World MX, Don Maeda, and Icon sports fitness training guru Charles Dow are both going to be live in here, and I hear these guys are a hoot when you get them together, so definitely don't want to miss that. And hey, go to Action Sports Show, theactionsportshow.com. Follow our social media at TE Action Sports, and download the podcast for free. All of us here, the Action Sports Show. Hope you all have a great week. We will see you next Tuesday right here, 6:30 on the Action Sports Show. Have a great week.